the fastest citizenships around the world that you can get as a millionaire or multimillionaire, because you being a millionaire, obviously you have the assets to invest into a new country. You don't just have to look at where can I go and spend time and get a second citizenship. And for most of our clients here at Wealthy Expat, this is what we specialize in. We look at their case and see what citizenship legally best fits for them. Most of the times, they don't want to relocate anywhere. Sometimes they don't even want to go anywhere. That's why these Caribbean citizenship by investment programs, I have a St. Kitts passport, St. Lucia, Dominica. That's why they're so popular. You don't actually have to go there. Now they're trying to introduce residency requirements. It's going to be a 30-day requirement in 5 years. So they're going to give you a 5-year passport. You're going to have to spend 30 days during those 5 years, and then you can renew it. For a lot of people, this really doesn't make sense. Let's say you're based in Singapore. Flying to St. Kitts and Nevis is going to require you to fly for over 24 hours and then spending 30 days over 5 years in a country that you might not even like to spend time in. You have to maybe take your whole family there because they also got citizenship under this program, and it's also going to affect your business, the time zone is different, etc., etc. So overall, it's going to obviously make them a lot less popular. As long as you have a clean criminal record, you're not in sanctions, you don't have this crazy investigation on you for tax purposes, you're not being sued by any government, anything like that, there are fast citizenships that you can get. I was talking to a client today from Spain. He's a Spanish citizen. And yes, Spanish citizens, EU citizens come to us and they ask, where can I go to protect myself against the EU? Yesterday, I was talking to a client who has a huge business in the European Union. He's a native EU citizen. And he's thinking, look, the direction of my government, the direction of the control that they're going towards citizens of my country, and also the crazy illegal immigration that's happening. Crime is increasing in that particular country. He wants something as a plan B. He doesn't want the Caribbean because he sees them as restricted passports in the future, which probably they will be. Now let's look at better options. There are countries that offer citizenship by presidential decree, or citizenship by merit, or citizenship by exception. It's essentially all the same thing. Citizenship by merit, citizenship by exception, citizenship by presidential decree, citizenship by an article of the Constitution of the country or a law. It's all the same thing. You make a significant contribution to a country, and in exchange, you get citizenship. There are some requirements. For example, you need to be at least a millionaire, $1 million or euros net worth, because you're going to contribute potentially 400,000, 500,000, 700,000 euros into that country. With, for example, the example of Malta. Malta used to have this program where it's citizenship by exception. It's not by investment. You have to spend some time in Malta. Now the program is closed. They're thinking about relaunching it. We'll see how that relaunch goes. But you have to spend some time in Malta. The same thing with all these other countries. Let's say you want to pursue citizenship in Serbia, Georgia, Albania, North Macedonia, Montenegro. Any of these countries, they have citizenship by exception or presidential or prime minister decree that you can actually get citizenship from the top level of government by contributing enough to the country. Whether that's a donation, taxes paid, creating a company in the country and then hiring a lot of people, buying a lot of real estate, creating a real estate company in that country, creating a factory in that country. In some cases, for example, in the European Union, there are countries that allow you to create a factory, hire over 10, 20 people, and then you can get permanent residency and citizenship. The better the citizenship, in an objective look, for example, if you want a citizenship with a passport that allows you to travel to pretty much anywhere you want, for example, an EU country, let's say you want to get a Hungarian citizenship, that's going to be much more expensive, much more hassle. Or you want to get an Austrian citizenship, that is possible by investment. It's by merit, it's by exception, but technically it's an investment. You have to invest into the country. You're not paying something. They're not naturalizing thousands of people. They're naturalizing less than 100 people per year in this program. And you need to donate well over €1 million and invest well over 3 to 4 million euros for this to actually become a possibility. In other countries, for example, outside of the European Union, in the Balkans, we're talking about 500,000 invested. In other countries, a lot of countries have this article in their law. For example, Poland as well, Article 18 of nationality allows the president to give citizenship to anyone as long as their contribution is high enough. In Serbia, it's Article 19. So these countries all have articles that allow them to get citizenship. The important thing is that you have a clean criminal record, you are a large investor, you have a good reputation online, and obviously you can contact us to see which one fits you the best and which one we see the highest possibility, because some countries are making it super hard or taken years to get citizenship this way. If you want to get another fast citizenship by straight investment without even actually going to the country, because with citizenship by presidential decree, you actually always have to go to the country. With the case of El Salvador, you can donate $1 million or donate around, let's say, less than 10 Bitcoin at this time. So it's $1 million in Bitcoin. You can send it to them, or 1 million USDT to El Salvador, and you get citizenship in sometimes less than 30 days or less than 45 days in some cases. And you can pick it up at an embassy of El Salvador. So if you're in Europe, for example, and you don't want to travel all the way to El Salvador, change the time zone, have some problems with your business during those couple of days, you can actually pick it up at an embassy. And this is completely legal. They're naturalizing not thousands of people because it is $1 million donation. So obviously not a lot of people will donate $1 million to El Salvador, specifically because the passport is not that strong now. But in my view, it's going to get better in the future. El Salvador is developing pretty well. Leadership is strong. Safety is there. It's one of the safest countries in the world right now, whereas it was one of the most dangerous in the world. Now it's one of the safest. It's obviously pro-Bitcoin, low taxes, which a lot of citizenship by exception or presidential decree countries are also very low tax. They want you to invest into their country, El Salvador as well. There are other options that you could consider. Some of my clients are interested in them, like Cambodia, for example. $250,000 donation. You get Cambodia. Not a strong passport. Maybe you want to buy land in Cambodia, invest into Cambodia. I was in Cambodia recently, bit of a sketchy place. Don't really recommend it for a lot of people. But if you want a plan B or something that doesn't scream citizenship by investment, because St. Kitts, all these countries, even though I'm a St. Kitts citizen, I recommend St. Kitts citizenship. I recommend Caribbean passports. In some cases, they are restricted. They are seen as passports that you can buy. Something like a Cambodia or other countries that allow citizenship by donation directly to the government are not seen as citizenship by investment. Another country that we're waiting on an official launch, that here at Wealthy Expat we're extremely excited for it to launch, is Argentina. Argentina is planning right now to launch a $500,000 investment route, just like Turkey, for example, has a $400,000 investment route to get Turkish citizenship. It takes a while. That's why I'm not including it that much in this video, because it takes over a year to get citizenship. In the case of Argentina, let's see how they do it, but it might take 2 years with no requirement to actually be in Argentina, or a very short requirement to be in Argentina to not be banned by the US, because the US under Trump said that if your country offers citizenship by investment with no residency requirement, remember, all the citizenship by presidential decree, they do require some residency, they do require strong ties to the country. St. Kitts and Nevis and other Caribbean programs are thinking of adding a 30-day requirement. Argentina will probably add some residency requirement, 7 days, 14 days per year for 2 years. They're going to make it like a golden visa, like Portugal, for example. 5 years, although now it's going to be 10 years. They increase the time that it takes to get citizenship. You have to spend some time in the country. The same thing is probably going to happen for Argentina. 2 years, 7 to 14 days per year, and then you get your Argentinian passport, or in the way with Turkey, where you have to keep your investment for a certain amount of years in order to keep the citizenship later on. So you could get citizenship really quickly, and then you have to keep the investment for 5 years, let's say, or in the next 5 years, you have to visit 1 week per year. We will see how Argentina launches it. Currently, Argentina has citizenship by exception, but they're planning to launch a full-scale citizenship by investment route very soon. Other options that some EU citizens or some Canadians, for example, UK citizens, they have all the visa-free travel they want around the world, and they want to get something fast and at a cheap price. They might get something like Vanuatu or Nauru, although these countries are really the last option, and they're more if you just want to open crypto exchange accounts and you want more privacy. We're not talking about evading taxes or evading your government illegally, anything like that. It's more about more privacy, or just having a bank account in another nationality, because you're already a non-tax resident of your country. You're doing everything legally, but you want an extra level of privacy in order to protect yourself and your wealth. And lastly, there are other options that I don't really recommend for most people, like some African countries. For example, Sierra Leone has a program. Ghana has a program they're thinking of launching. Other countries in Africa and overall countries like this that are developing countries, they're trying to bring investment into the country. Be careful with these. Have a strong reason in order to get citizenship in this country, because for a lot of future programs, you might have to declare all your citizenships. That's why, for example, I don't recommend people to get Armenian citizenship or Iranian citizenship or Russian citizenship, for example, or any of these citizenships that is a red flag for a Westerner. let's say you have a Spanish passport, a US passport, Canadian passport, UK passport, and then you go and get a Sierra Leone, or you go and get an Iranian, or you go and get a Pakistani, something like that, obviously that's going to be a huge red flag in the future, so consider it carefully. If you're interested in getting a second citizenship, you want to see more options, I discussed this even more in detail with another client where I was discussing all the options he has for citizenship around the world. Check out the video right here, best citizenships to get around the world. If you are a millionaire, sometimes 3 months, sometimes 3 years, see all the options right here.